What's going on, everyone? So we're going to continue on with our program here that we're making to gather real-time stock data for analysis purposes to make trading a little bit easier and to give ourselves a little bit of a market edge when it comes to data. It's always best to use real-time data rather than stale data, inaccurate data, things like that. It's best to know the source of the data since we know what we're working with here and we can verify it within our Webull brokerage app. Makes it a lot easier. But where we are so far. So what we've done so far, you should have 3 files in your program folder. What we've done is we have created a main.py file, which imports at the top our custom class that we made that holds a function and some data attributes that we've gotten from some Webull URLs. Also in the main file, we're defining an instance of that Webull class. We have a list of tickers, GameStop, AMC, NVIDIA, AMD, QCOM, and Meta, that we also have a script for where we are utilizing one of our functions from our toolkit that we started to build. Now, if we go to the models.py file, we currently have one class in here called stock data. This is basically a placeholder for our attributes for a URL endpoint that fetches general stock data such as name, symbol, market value, volume, turnover rate, open, high, low, close prices for the day, 52-week high and low. And then in our get data file, this is where we actually have our main class, which is the Webull class. What it's going to do is hold a bunch of different endpoints that will allow us to get different kinds of market data and then script it to our program, and we can gather this data whenever we want. So far what we have is the class. We have get ticker ID, because the way Webull's API works, you actually have to convert the ticker name to an ID and then pass it to the API URL, which this is what this function does automatically for us. Every subsequent function in this class is going to start with the ticker ID equals self.getTickerID, because we want to convert the ticker that we're passing in from our main file to the necessary ID in order to see the data. So that's all we have so far. We just have the get ticker ID function, and then we have the subsequent get stock data function that utilizes the class within the models file. So that's just a brief recap. From here, what I'm going to show you is how to get the rest of your endpoints needed for the rest of your functions / data classes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just create a new file, and we're going to call it endpoints.py. We're just going to go and get some URLs from Webull's website, and I'm going to show you which one holds which data, and we're going to store them in this video in this file, and then we're going to create the rest of the functions and data classes after that. So let's go ahead and move over to the developer window, and to get to this point you have to go to Webull.com. You do not have to have any kind of account. You don't have to log in. I'm currently logged in right now. It is what it is, but you don't have to be logged in. So you don't have to have a Webull account to do this. So what I have open on the right hand side of the screen is actually going to be your developer window, and to get to this point in the window you have to hit Control-Shift-I, which is going to open this up. And when you open it for the first time, you're going to see that it may look like this with the Elements tab selected. All you have to do to get to the point where I was at is simply go over to Network, and then right underneath this filter box, click the Fetch/XHR tab, and then that will filter our URLs by Fetch/XHR, which is the ones that we need. Now I'm currently working from within the Stocks tab over here. So if you look on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see Watch List, Stocks, Markets, Screener, Trade. I am under Stocks, and then just go ahead and type in any stock you want, and then you should see this screen here, something similar. Now we're going to go ahead and grab these endpoints now. So I'm going to start with financials. So I'm going to click on financials, and then once I do that, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of this massive URL list. Once I get here, you're going to want to pick up cash flow. So just take this URL here, cash flow, and we're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it into our endpoints folder, or in our endpoints file in our project folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to define this endpoint as cash flow equals paste the URL. And what we can also do is, just for now, we're going to create a ticker ID variable, and we're just going to make it double quotes. And we're going to place a placeholder right here. We're going to call this ticker ID. And then we have to put an F in front of the URL to make an F string so that it will recognize this attribute. And we're going to change the limit as well. We're going to do 10. We're going to have the last 10 earnings reports for any ticker that we want. So that's the cash flow URL. Now let's go back to the Webull website. And we're going to also get balance sheet. So we're going to take the balance sheet URL and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to carry this over to our project folder in the endpoints file. We're going to paste this balance sheet URL right below the cash flow. Do the same thing for income statement. Copy that URL, move back to our project folder, create a income statement variable, the F string, and paste it into your file. And do the same thing for the ticker ID that you did with the first one. Ticker ID, ticker ID, type is good, fiscal period 1, 2, 3, 4, limits look good. We're going to change the limits to 10 as well for the other two. And then I'm going to put a comment above this just so I remember what this is for. We clearly defined it, but you never know, you may forget. Financial data. So we have cash flow, balance sheet, and income statement so far. We're going to go back to our Webull page. I guess we're already on there. And then we're going to grab, let's see, we have income statement, balance sheet, cash flow so far. And then we're also going to get the forecast. So grab the forecast URL, copy that over, and we're going to paste this in our endpoints file. So this is what your endpoints file should look like right now. We have cash flow, balance sheet, income statement, or I put income state, income statement, and then lastly, our forecast equals F string, paste the URL. And this one here, we're actually going to replace the ticker ID with the same placeholder, ticker ID. And that's looking good for financials. So let's go back to the Webull URL website now, and we're going to get some more information. So finance ratio, if we scroll down, that's what the forecast URL endpoint was for. So now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this one because there's different type of numbers. So let's just go through this. So there's ROE and ROA. I believe this one, if we look at the preview here, there's actually no preview. This is type 4. So we're going to go back to our file now, and this one was type 1. So this one's going to be forecast 4 equals F string, just like that. We're also going to do the same thing. We're going to do forecast 2 underscore 2 equals F string. All we have to do here is just change the type number at the end. We'll do forecast 3 equals F string. Perfect. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to go ahead and replace the ticker ID with our placeholders again. Just like this. So now we should have the cash flow, the balance sheet, the income statement, and 4 types of different forecast URLs for our Webull project. Let's go back to the developer window now and see what else we can gather from here. So did we miss anything? We scroll through here real quick. We got the cash flow, got the balance sheet, got the income statement, got the forecast. Looking good. All right, so that's probably everything for financial data. So now we're going to click over to analysis. When we click on analysis, we're going to scroll down to the bottom of this again, and you should see a URL endpoint with the word analysis at the front. We're going to take that, we're going to copy that URL, And we're going to go back to our project folder, and we're going to create another comment, analysis, or let's do analyst ratings. And then we're going to do analyst ratings equals, and then quotes with the F string, paste that URL, and then replace the ticker ID with the ticker ID variable. Go back to the Weevil website. And we're going to keep on going. So now let's go to short interest. Click on it, scroll down, look for the short interest URL, copy it, and paste it back into your project folder. So make a new comment, short interest. Whoops, I didn't mean to run that file. So short interest, define it, short interest equals F string, paste the URL, and then replace the ticker ID with the placeholder. So very repetitive so far, but we're just gathering what we need for this project. So back over to the Weeble website. So we got short interest. Let's get the institutional holdings now. Scroll down and look for get institutional holding. And we're going to take this URL, and you guessed it, we're going to copy it back to our project file. Make a new comment, institutional ownership, and then define institutional ownership equals F string quote, and paste the URL and replace the ticker ID. Back to our Weevil website. So what else? Let's go to order flow. Scroll down, look for the order flow URL. Where is it? Right here. This one is actually capital flow. Look for ticker at the front, ticker question mark. That's going to be your capital flow URL. So take this back to our file, make a capital flow comment, and define it. Capital flow equals F string, just like that. And again, replace with ticker ID. And now we're going to go back to the Weevil website again. Let's look for that order flow. And sometimes you have to click off and try again. So we're going to click institutional holdings, back to order flow. Scroll down and see if we can find it. Capital flow. That is ticker. Where is our order flow? You can also search for it in the filter box. So I'm just going to type order, and nothing came in. I'm just going to type the word flow. We got cash flow, ticker. So it looks like just capital flow right now. So that's our capital flow, which is okay. So let's move this over real quick. See if we missed it somewhere. I don't see the order flow. You may have to mess around with it to get the order flow URL. So I don't see it on here. I see cash flow. That was for the financial data. And generally it's going to be at the bottom of this list. I do not see it. I do not see the order flow, but that's okay. I did find another one that we missed. This is actually going to be your price target URL. So look for recommendation question mark in the URL name, and then go ahead and paste that one back in our folder here. We're going to put this underneath the analyst. I'm going to change this to analyst data, and then underneath analyst ratings, we're going to do price targets, or price target equals F string, and then paste the URL and replace the ticker ID. Back to Weevil website. Let's see, that's the analysis data. I do not see that order flow. It should be something like distribution. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this web page. It'll clean our list here. And then I'm going to see if it comes up here. That's analysis. I'm not seeing it. So I'm going to click order flow again. I see get quote. Let's look at the preview. It's not there. I wonder if they removed access to this one. Because I do not see it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Interesting. They may have removed access to it, which could happen at any time. So let's just move on now. I do not see the order flow, so I'm going to click a couple more times. Huh, weird. Anyways, okay, so let's click on ETF weighting. And you'll see query ETF list. And we're going to take this, and we're going to copy this URL, just like we did before for everything else. Go back to our main program. ETF holdings, define ETF holdings, and then paste the URL and replace the ticker ID placeholder, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and make the page size here, well, let's do 200. And then now, oh, I misspelled ticker ID here. What I'm going to do to close off this video, now you should have a lot of URLs to work with, right? A lot of different data URLs that you can be working with. And I think I'm at the wrong image. There we go. So a lot of different URLs that you can work with. So right now we have cash flow, balance sheet, income statement, forecast, 4 different kinds. We have the analyst ratings, the price target, short interest, and institutional ownership, capital flow data, and ETF holdings for tickers. A lot of stuff. So how we can do this now is, since we already have a function defined where we can utilize the ticker ID conversion function, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and at the top here I'm going to do from get data import Weeble. And Weeble equals Weeble. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do ticker ID equals Weeble.get ticker ID. And then we're just going to pass in a ticker so we can test all these endpoints for the closing of this video. So I'm going to type in, let's do Microsoft MSFT. And now what I should be able to do is I should be able to run this folder after I set up a couple of GET requests. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to condense all this down real quick so you can see everything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start calling these URLs. So what we're going to do here is, let's do, just for the sake of this video, I'm going to make it simple and just do R cash flow equals, we have to import requests at the top, sorry, import requests, request.get, and then cash flow dot JSON. We're going to print our cash flow. Next is our balance sheet equals request.get balance sheet dot JSON. Oops, didn't mean to run the file. And then we're going to print our balance sheet. Next, we have our cash flow. Oh, sorry, not cash flow. Our income statement equals request.get income statement dot JSON. And then print our income statement. Next, we have the 4 forecasts. So R underscore forecast 1 equals request.get forecast1.json, print our forecast1. Same thing for the other 3. Forecast2 equals request.get forecast2.json. And I'm going to go ahead and just copy this. Actually, I'll copy both of these. Actually, print our forecast2. And then I'm just going to copy these. So we have 2 more, so change this to 3, 3, 4, and 4. and 4, and 3. Just consolidate this real quick. So, okay, let's print the rest of them. Let's do analyst ratings and price target. So our analysts equals request.get analyst ratings dot JSON print our analysis. Price target, our price target equals requests.get price target dot JSON print our price target. What else do we have? We have short interest, institutional ownership. So our short interest equals request.get short interest dot JSON print our short interest. Our institutional, I'm just going to put INST holdings equals request.get institutional ownership dot JSON print our institutional holdings. Lastly, we have capital flow and ETF holdings. So capital flow, or R underscore capital flow equals request.get capital flow dot JSON print our capital flow. And last but not least, our ETFs equals request.get ETF holdings. I spelled holdings wrong. Let's fix that real quick. Hold INGS. ETF holdings, then we got to change it up here. ETF holdings, and then I'm going to put our ETF holdings equals request.get, and then we're going to print our ETF holdings. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this all the way up here and just print this file or run this file by pressing F5. And I think I changed off the screen again. There we go. So this is what we have, and this is what it looks like here. All of our URL endpoints with our print statements, and we're actually going to test all these out right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, and we're going to run this and see what we get in the terminal. Look at all that data! Holy shit, man! Well, now you have access to all the raw data. How about that shit? Since 50 people are going to watch this video, I'm probably going to go off on a tangent and show you how to incorporate all of this with Discord. Just because, you know, why not? But yeah, how about that? Look at all that effing data at your disposal. Pretty cool shit. That's it for this one.